Ooh, good morning. Let's go. Ooh, good morning. I see you. Hashtag AfroEconomics. Who's that girl? Who's that girl? Oh, oh, let me see. I see you, but I can't hear you. Chat to me. Let me put that up. I'm gonna put it up. Talk to me. Yes, indeed. It's the Carl Nelson Show. Thank you. Thank you for sharing your morning with me. This is a great opportunity to be on Carl's show. Money Monday. Call it that. Money Monday. Money Monday. Mm, let me know you can hear me. Let me know everything is okay. Mm. You know what? I can hear you. Oh, that's good. I was like, I wonder if I should. Oh, no, I'm glad I realized that. I was like, I don't think I should be able to hear him. That's funny. Here we go. It's- mm, morning. See ya. Mm. Do, 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 do. Happy New Year. Mm, mm, mm. Happy New Year right back at you. That sounds wonderful. Your whole day. And I hope that we change some lives this morning and get them excited about 2024 with their money. Mhm. Everywhere. Everywhere. Yeah. Yes, indeed. And everywhere. Go to just do a search on JB Bryan or do a search on Afroeconomics or do a search on Carl Nelson, JB Bryan, and then it will pop up on your favorite form. YouTube is my favorite place to get you to check us out. Go to YouTube and it should pop up because we're up live. Your cup of coffee this morning is Carl Nelson and JB Bryan. That's right. Mm, 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 mm. I do. I think that all resolutions can work. The researchers say that by the end of January, and sometimes even by the end of last week, the first week of the year, that people, have already broken their resolution. But I think that that's a really horrible way to look at life and how we progress through it, because our progress is a process. I like for us to just fall in love with the process, because as someone who, like, in 2025, it will be my 30th year in business, and there were times during the 29 plus years now that it feels like, where you've fallen off course, or, it's harder. Why is it so hard this year? Maybe say your 15th year, whatever, your 15th day. And but you still have to stay the course of, and how is 30 years such a big deal? Like, why has that all of a sudden, like, especially if people work somewhere, so why is it if you mess up within the first 30 days such a big deal? Or why is it if you decide that you're going to use your credit card, and you said that I'm not going to use this credit card, but you use the credit card? Why is that such a big deal? Only if we decide that it's not a process. Like this, getting your money right for the majority of grown folks, it's a process. You're not going to be able to pay off all of your debts at one time. But we do need to truly fall into the belief and the reality that what we do each day does create our long-term answer to that resolution. So even if you don't accomplish your debt freedom in this one year, you'll be so much farther ahead by having a consciousness that, oops, I used that card, I've got to get back on track, versus, and even with like your health goals, oh shoot, I said that I wasn't going to, eat any sweets, but you messed up on that day or that meal. That all you do is you get right back on track for the next meal with your money. You use the card, or you purchase something that you thought was, you said that you weren't going to have to do, but something came up, you had to do it. So we have to talk through how to make this still work for you. Say someone had a car that was paid for, but all of a sudden that car broke down, and they decided they wanted to get a new car. Before buying that new car, it's give yourself time, or talk to your financial professional about what's the best way to approach this, um, or do I have options and how to save? But a lot of times we're creating a sense of urgency for things that really are something that you can take your time and spread it out over time, and not rush. I think that rushing on anything, and a resolution should not be a rush. A resolution should not be an attack of yourself. It's kind of like where people go from eating 4,000 calories a day to all of a sudden they wanna fast. They go into a deep fast, and they don't feel well, instead of maybe they should just, do a better cutoff of when they stop eating. The same with your money. Maybe you need to look at what money you have coming in, where is your money currently going, and how we're gonna reach this goal that you set for yourself for the new year financially. And even for some, yeah, uh-huh. Mhm. I believe that we all should resolve to increase our income. And because there's such an effect, and not to but income impacts our life in so many ways that I didn't even realize until I began to research the income and health connection. So that definitely, I think that we need to resolve that I'm going to increase my income. If you made a commitment to increasing your income, you immediately change your debt level, as long as you don't increase your income and also increase your debt. But increasing your income makes it easier to pay off those debts. So, and a lot of the debt has been created because of, the lack of income. So you're living off the credit card. The credit card balance indicates that you're living beyond your current income means. So it's income, increasing income. Mhm, mhm. I don't believe in cheat days from a health perspective. No, that I don't believe that you should commit 24 hours to doing something that's outside of your goal that you have for yourself. I believe that cheat days are one of the worst things that people, could decide that you're going to do, because in reality, the sugar addiction is right up there with the drug addiction. So when you have the cheat day, you're increasing the odds of you opening up that whole addictive behavior that caused the problem for you from a health perspective anyway. And so I don't believe in cheat day. I don't believe in, I believe in only doing things that are going to strengthen you. Like, have a day of more relaxation, have a day that you get more oxygen and you spend more time outside. Have mhm, mhm, and having the making the decision also for, well, finances, you don't have, a cheat, like, the what you say with your finances equivalent to a cheat day is, "I deserve this. I deserve this." So you go out and you just walk. You're walking through the mall and you see something, and people go, I'm just window shopping," but you're not. You're putting yourself in the crack house. A crack addict can't walk through the crack house. A person who wants to improve their financial decision, their financial, well-being, should not be just leisurely walking through the mall. If you want to, uh-huh, mhm, mhm, mhm. That's right. You're you're in the wrong place. Go to a positive place, like outside. Now, I know it sounds, corny and everything, but literally spending more time outside on your own property. Like a lot of your listeners have their own backyard, their own park close by, their own, place, their own balcony. So the time that you would spend on that mall, spend on your balcony, even if you don't feel up to, moving. Then just sit down and meditate. The research that has shown that, the peace and the resolve and the better mindfulness for people who spend time just thinking. I was reading an article yesterday, was talking about what billionaires do, and, Warren Buffett was talking about how much of his time he just spends thinking. And we allow ourselves to just, look at the television, look at some movies where people are telling us what to think, what to buy. But if you truly want to think, you have to give yourself that space with just you and God. Like, just get away from the commercialism and enjoy, get to a point of appreciation. Mhm, mhm. Yeah. He reads, yeah, he reads constantly as well. So it's just reading, researching, finding out new ideas, thinking about creative ways on how to approach things in business. And it's true. Like, there's also research that says with our cardio, during cardio is the time where we actually, it really wakes up our brain and you really start thinking better. So if you could combine that thinking time with actual walking, or what I'll do, I'll in front of the television, but I'll get on the trampoline, I'll have a little rebounder, and it just shakes you up because research has shown that just from shaking up your body, you dramatically reduce your chances of getting cancer. But so the movement, any type of movement while we're thinking is going to make us more creative. You're gonna make a different decision. You're not gonna go and gorge or gouge on money or gouge on food or gouge on smoking. You're going to make better mindful choices with our life if we get ourselves into a more healthy state and get the toxins, the bad thoughts out of our bodies, out of our minds. And but mm, mm, mhm, okay. Great question. That's funny. Of course, and asked when would they be able to do a balance transfer with 0 interest or like whoever said like you don't pay anything for 6 months or a year, things like that. On the balance transfer is credit cards. Mm. Financial empowerment program based
JB,
on
I think you
Oh, I'm
have,
sorry.
I think on the audio for your broadcast,
It's not coming out.
you just have this, you have the mic on your computer. You didn't
It's not
switch
coming
it to,
out.
you didn't switch it
That's
to the USB, the connector, this,
let me see what
the
that is.
codec. Yeah, you got it on the microphone.
Mhm. It's not.
See what that is.
It's on there. Oh, that's not. But when I talk, it's coming in.
Yeah, see, because it's just the mic. For some reason, it isn't getting this codec.
So, have you moved the needle in someone else's life, or have you only
So,
concentrated on
Queen
what
Howard,
you
can
want
you
and
hear
how
me
you
okay?
want to live? The reality is, the true fulfillment potential will
Mm,
only be measured by the impact of the lives of others.
I think they
This
can
is
Yeah, they
Reality
hear you.
Radio
Oh, they
with
can.
Kathy
But you
Hughes.
don't think they can hear
What's your
Paul
reality? What's your reality?
on YouTube?
Urban
It
One,
was
we
he
pride
wasn't coming
ourselves
in.
on
Just
supporting
you.
Just
local and
me.
national Black-owned businesses throughout all of our radio markets. Since we began our Buy Black campaign, we
It's
like to
coming.
spotlight some familiar and unfamiliar businesses in our communities, from arts and crafts, restaurants, clothing and
Can
apparel,
you?
heating, technology, electrical. One
Well,
thing is
where's your
true,
codec?
Black folks have a business
And
for
then
everything
so
you
I go
need, want,
here
or
and
could
then
imagine. Here's
you
from
can
us
see
all
the
local and
name.
national Black-owned businesses, because when you spend money with a Black-owned business, you are helping your
Maybe
community
you
as
just
well
had
as
it
helping
on.
yourself. The businesses
Click
for
it.
this week are
Maybe when I did it, fix it
Batteries
back.
Plus
Mm.
of
Sometimes
Bowie,
just like you're
301 360
just like
4415.
yeah, it's good.
Capital Youth
Right.
Empowerment Program, CYEP.org, Utopia Center, aboututopia.com. Thank you.
You there, JB?
You think it's good? Right.
Granddad, what's good? Hey
Thanks for
there, got us
checking.
a quarter pounder with cheese.
Yeah,
and
I was
everything.
just monitoring your YouTube channel.
Right.
McDonald's
Fantastic.
order in a minute. Heard the little tic-tac-toe dance didn't get no likes. Oh man, is mom telling everybody? You know she is. There's a deal for
Y'all
every
quiet
favorite
this morning.
grandson at
Y'all
McDonald's.
better wake up
Right now,
where
get
I'm going.
one favorite
Gone.
like
I'm
a
be
quarter pounder
gone.
with cheese or 10-piece chicken McNuggets and get another for just $1. Right there,
That's
participation maybe.
at 6 this morning also.
In November, with McLaren's
Plan and
So
theaters.
the question was about the
Like nothing you've seen before. The Book of Clarence is a bold new take on timeless Hollywood era biblical epic. The film stars Lakeith Stanfield, who plays Clarence, an ordinary guy who wants to change his life and prove to the world that he's not a nobody. Early screenings have people already raving that this is a cinematic epic that is highly entertaining, inspiring, and made to be seen on the big screen. The Book of Clarence in theaters, Martin Luther King weekend, rated PG-13. Get your tickets now. You do not want to miss it.
If you owe money to the IRS, pay attention. With billions of new funding and more access to taxpayers' financial records than ever before, the IRS has now more power to find and collect on people who owe. If you owe back taxes, your paycheck, your bank account, even your home or business could be at risk. Don't wait. Call Optima Tax Relief, America's #1 tax relief firm, 8+ rated by the Better Business Bureau. Their award-winning tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $1 billion of IRS and state tax debts. It starts with a free consultation. One easy call. Optima's experts can help determine the various tax assistance programs you may qualify for. Take control. Put your tax problems to rest. Call the tax professionals at Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-569-4435. 800-569-4435. 800-569-4435.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
All over America, people are taking the National Radon Test. Have you heard of radon?
What is that?
Is it something that comes up out the ground or something?
Looks like poison gas. Something dangerous that you're supposed to check on to make sure it's not in your home.
Now it's your turn. Answer true or false. Radon is a radioactive gas. True. Radon is a radioactive gas. True or false? The Office of the Surgeon General recommends that all homes be tested for radon. True. Your home should be tested.
I didn't know that, no.
True or false? Radon is the second leading cause of lung cancer. True.
True. I didn't know that.
Radon is the second leading cause of lung cancer. Answer true or false. Homes with radon problems can be fixed. True. Homes with radon problems can be fixed.
So what do you do about it? I'm going to dial the number and call 1-800-SOS-RADON.
I don't take care of it. Nobody else will. Keep your family safe from radon. Call now.
1-800-SOS-RADON.
Now back to the Carl Nelson Show.
Good morning again, friendly. 20 minutes of the top 8 hour with our guest JB Bryan. JB is a financial expert, and she's broadcasting live across social media. Later today, she's going to be on regular TV as well. In Virginia, so she'll tell us what TV station she's going to be on, talking about the same thing, talking about how to save money, how to make money, and of course, this is the start of the made resolution, either make more money or control their finances. And this is what we're discussing this morning. We'd like to speak. Reach out to us, 800-450-7876. And JB, as I mentioned, a tweet that wanted to know, it says, please ask your guest, when will balance transfers with zero interest going to be as prevalent as it was prior to COVID?
And the benefit of your show versus television is you don't get the opportunity to ask a question and the person expound on it. Television gives you what they want to give you. And you get it and get it in a little sound bite. But the Carl Nelson show, we get to actually elaborate on it. She mentioned or he mentioned this question because there's so many people that got into that Carl transferring their credit card balance over to these zero offers. And I'm looking at research now that came out in November 2023. So what not that long ago, and that it says because of the coronavirus pandemic, it disrupts lives. Americans have faced layoffs and reduced income. So it's difficult for them to pay their everyday expenses, from groceries to mortgage payments. So they're also struggling to pay off credit card debt. So the first thought bit is that the balance transfers are going away because people don't have the ability, to pay their cards anyway. So, credit card companies don't wanna take on that risk of that person trying to flip, going to different, cards anymore, and I guess they don't have to. There's a lot of administrative, processing in that whole transferring. So now the interest rates are so high on credit card balances that they're like, "We're good. We're making 2 gobs of money." It says that balance transfers typically provide 20 months of interest-free financing. However, due to recent economic downturn, many financial institutions are shortening the length of their 0% APR offerings or getting rid of them altogether. So there's, some articles that have been written by some major financial institutions that said that some, they had an article and it written by these 2 major credit card holders, and they said that they cut back on balance transfers, um, because of the economic changes. So it's and they're trying to minimize their risk because they can't have, all of these cards or all of these loans, the credit card balances that are not being paid. So, and generally those transfers are done and approved by people with great credit. So now they're the ones that it look like there's a couple of banks, you might wanna just Google, but and this article only gives like 3 that are still doing, the 0% transfer period, but after that, and it says the first 18 cycles are not billed, and then it says after that you go to an interest rate of 18.7 to 29.7. So you actually could be transferring from a 9% and going into something because it looks attractive, but you don't have the ability to pay it off before that 0% ends, and you end up paying more than you were. You could be jumping from the pot into the fire. So be very
Wow.
careful. Be very
Okay.
careful.
And this does all this contend on what happens in the economy, at least for folks, the bankers, the credit card issues, do they want to have the interest rates going up and down before they make moves like that?
Yeah, but it's gonna be hard for them to bring them back down. Like, you see how the mortgage rates are starting to slow down from going to peaks, but the consumer debt, they're not gonna give that up without a fight. They can make 29% on your balance, like, they're going to fight. It's going to have to be where where people start transferring out, like, some major bank has to start lowering it and then and offering these things again, and you see how they're basically all kind of work together. When one stops, the other stops. When one starts, the other starts. And so it makes it hard for the consumer because they can keep the rates up. The only way for us to be in control is to cut our balances down as much as possible, and as I was saying, we have to increase our income or reduce our spending. And,
All right.
and
It's
yes,
easier said than done,
yes,
JB. But I want to talk
yes.
about credit because one of the issues, one of the New Year's resolutions for many folks is to, as far as finances is concerned, is to improve their credit. What advice would you have for people listening to us right now who want to improve their credit? And what do you consider a good credit score?
No, in the 700 and over is a good credit score. Like, when you start, going, to get into your 800s and plus, generally, this is a person that has a whole lot of debt, or they're are an older person. So, the credit score you can actually have a great credit score, the highest credit score, because based on your ability to pay your minimum balances on time. So, it's not about, like, you don't have a lot of debt. You may have a lot of debt, but you can pay these things on time, and a lot of times they're being paid on time because of these transfers and all these creative things that were going on, and now they're not going on, so people have 300, 400, $500 credit card bills that used to be $100 a month. And when you're on fixed income or have a regular salary that can change your whole financial situation with your credit card bills tripling like that. And that is happening to a lot of people. They didn't even put anything else on it, really. They just because the interest rates went up on that balance, their minimum payment is a lot higher, and it can hurt your credit if you can't make that payment.
Let me ask you this. I don't know if you recall one of our listeners in Houston, Jimmy. That was his name. Jimmy.
Yeah.
He had a perfect credit score. Was it 850 is the top line? He says he's got that.
Yes.
It's a good thing to have this. After you get to it, there's nowhere else to go but down.
Mhm.
So, in your estimation, is it good to get to that 850 level like Jimmy has? Hopefully, he still has that.
Yes, indeed. And his argument was that I took a loan out of my work plan and I paid all those off. So it's great to have a 850 credit score, but he doesn't know how much he slowed down his savings at work. So, say last year, if he still was paying a loan, well, when you have that loan, the employer actually takes your money that you owe and it's out of the market. They're securing themselves. So last year, if it was invested properly, he lost out on a lot of money. And then it could argue, well, there's interest that's being paid and I'm paying it back to myself, but yes, these employment loans, I don't care if they gave you 5 years, you're not supposed to be paying that back for 5 years. And if you lose your job within or you want to retire within that 5 years, then it becomes immediately a taxable event. So we want to avoid those as much as possible, use them. There's some advantages to them for emergency situations. But for that, um, that's not the best planning process. And what do we need that high score for? And you can actually live your life without having to be in debt, but it's become the American way to not save and buy things. We just have become, well, everything is finance. Everything is finance. Even if you just limited your debt to for your mortgage, and that's the only debt that you had, that will hinder your ability to get that highest credit score, even though you're doing the right thing for your financial future. So I think that we need to have like my principle in Afroeconomics is credit confidence, not really focusing on credit scores as much like but having credit confidence that I'm doing these right steps to protect that score so that it doesn't damage my life insurance and damage my car insurance premiums because they use your credit score for all these outside things now, but it doesn't have to be 850. You don't have to, become a
Hold that thought
Mhm,
right there.
mhm.
JB, can they check your credit without asking, without your permission? Can they just run your credit report like that?
They can do what's called a soft check, and they're done all the time. That's how you look at your credit score, these things where they tell you. But as far as the ones that they really need for your car insurance, your life insurance, you have signed to allow them to do that. You just didn't see it. Like you saw it, but you didn't notice it. But you have
Hmm.
allowed them to check it. And that's where the
So
premium that
these
you pay.
soft checks that you
Mhm.
mentioned, do we know when they take place? Does the credit
Mhm.
company tell you that somebody's looking at your credit,
Oh,
or is
yeah.
it something that you have to go and investigate yourself?
You have to check your credit, your credit report. So you go to annualcreditreport.com. January is a great time to do this. And then it will show you any inquiries that and then that's how you get like a lot of those offers in the mail when they say like pre-approved, stuff like that. You're gonna see those, inquiries down there. And sometimes it
Hmm.
could be like really
Yeah.
strange stuff. I don't know, but somehow you got like when people do their taxes now, TurboTax asks you about signing up for Credit Karma. When you do that, those people have everything on you. You've attached that to your tax return. They got your social, your kid's social, your wife's social, everybody's social that's on there. They got your household income, they got your, all of this information on you. And we're not looking at that what the question that they have. Is if, do you want to have these offers for this? Have you thought about this? We're just clicking yes, 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 yes. Oh, it's terrible. Slow down.
Oh, wow.
Slow down. Like, yeah, especially that Credit Karma, be very careful with that. Anything that's free means they're making money off you. When you pay for it, like I use a credit monitoring system, I pay for it. They can't give my info to anybody else.
Interesting.
They
Hold on.
can't do it. Yeah.
We'll come up on another break. And when we come back, though, I'm going to ask you about credit cards. How many credit cards do you suggest that we should have? And
Okay.
what kind of credit cards should we have? What would be most useful? Because some people just take out credit cards and just have a bunch of credit cards and probably have decent credit as well. So if you can
That's
explain
right.
that, for us,
Okay.
also trying to get your money collected and start up a new year,
Right.
you got a New Year's resolution, you got questions about money. So
Right.
lady, you need to talk to her. And she's podcasting live on social media. She's on regular TV later this morning. We'll
Right.
talk about that as well. 26 away from the top of the hour. We're going to take a short break. We're back in 2 minutes right here in Baltimore on 1010 WOLB. Also on the GM3 around FM 95.9 and AM 1550. WOF is power.
Morning. Mm. I'm JB Bryan, the creator of AfroEconomics, a strategic financial empowerment program based on 10 timeless financial principles like generational wealth and legacy, financial knowledge, credit confidence, entrepreneurship, self-reliance, and more. AfroEconomics gives you the guidance and tools you can use to develop and sustain wealth. Check out AfroEconomics on your favorite social media platforms. You will find us everywhere. Plus, enjoy my weekly Afroeconomics podcast. There are many levels of Afroeconomics membership, including the free online access membership level called No Excuses. So make no excuses and check out afroeconomics.com today. Powered by JB Bryan Financial Group, Incorporated, a registered investment advisory firm. Hashtag Afroeconomics.
About the IRS, they tell you to be afraid, to be scared. They try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 855-4209. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. There is zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have a 5-star rating on Google and Yelp and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmares today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-4209. That's 800-575-4209. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Vision loss is not something that you feel until it happens. Most people lose their vision from diseases like macular degeneration and glaucoma. Macular degeneration moves your central vision. You have a blind spot right in the center of your face, so I can't actually see your face.
So even that little circle in which I could see became a big blur.
I was 65 when I first was diagnosed with glaucoma.
There were no symptoms. I had no headache.
3 million Americans have glaucoma, and half don't even know it. 11 million people in the United States have macular degeneration. Mobility, independence, changes in our life.
I treated.
Tells me that I have beautiful brown eyes, and I don't want to lose that.
Make a plan today. Just check.
Brightfocus.org to learn more.
If give for a child to make that wish come true. To fight a critical illness, just to think what you do. Because we're so powerful, and you can make them real. Give a child back their childhood. You change the way they feel. You make the stars align. Because when we come together, hope and joy will shine. Stars let you. Visit Make-A-Wish.com.
Now back to the Carl Nelson Show.
Good morning, once again, family. 22 minutes away from the top of the hour. Financial expert JB Bryan. Before we go back to today's day, just remind you, coming up later this morning, this week with Black politics expert Dr. James Taylor. Later this week, I have a conversation with Professor Dr. Willie English, Dr. Clinical Psychologist, Jeff Menzies, the President General of the Universal African People's Organization, Brother Zaki Baruti. And when they're on, of course, you're all invited to ask some questions. You know, this is an interactive program. That's what we do here. It's not like we're eavesdropping on the conversation of this program. It's that we, I think that's part of its success. And that's why we want you to keep your radios locked tight right here in Baltimore on 1010 WOLB. We're in the DMV. We're on FM 95.9 and AM 1450 WOL. All right, JB. And I see JB's broadcasting live. You just joined us. He's just broadcasting live just across social media. She's on TV, or the regular TV this morning. It's radio and TV these mornings. And shout out to the folks who are checking us out on social media. Cynthia, I see you in the chat room, and Beverly, I see you. So you can get in the chat room and have these kind of funny conversations, how to make money, how to save with JB from AfroEconomics. But before we left for the short break, JB, I was asking you a question about credit cards, that credit mix. How many credit cards should we have? Because many people don't think about credit until they get ready to finance, whether it be a home or automobile or a big ticket item, and they should be thinking about it before. So as far as the credit mix is concerned, what's considered a good credit mix? How many credit cards should we have? Your response.
You know, I mean, to preface this, like, I have like more Black men clients that are multimillionaires than I have Black women. But the Black men and the Black women that have millions plus are very modest. Like, they could buy anything they want, but they still have, and we always talk about Warren Buffett and him doing that, having the same house and this, but these Black people who have all this money are doing the same thing, and not because I told them to, because they were rich when they met me. It's just my job to keep them rich. But so when we talk about credit scores, we have to realize that the system is designed to stop you from being where they are. Because the only way to succeed in credit scoring is to only use 10%. The majority of the highest scores have only used 10% or less of their available credit. That means their house mortgage is almost paid off or all the way down. That means their car is all the way down. That means their credit cards aren't even used. They use their debit card the most. They just put the credit card on just to keep it active. But their utilization, which is the word that is used, is very down. And then, so what happens is, I think that we start thinking about credit score before we really should even be going into debt. And so when we start just, working, paying for things, saving, investing, and then, okay, you get this modest home and you get, you know, and then you start paying on it, pay down. Lord, look at this. What if you already have a down payment and you don't do what the government suggests? Go in with the minimum, but you actually save, have a nice lump sum to put down on your home purchase. You already own part of your house when you buy. And that so these are but on for as far as score, it's saying we want you to have at least 5 lines of credit to get the best score, and we want these to be underutilized. So it's like discipline is the key, but you act and when we say 5, we're saying they want 5 different things. Like I was saying, like maybe 3 credit cards, a mortgage, and a car, and you've paid them down considerably. That you wanna have that optimal score. But if a person only has, 1 and they're focusing on that 1 and they're, saving up for everything else, they're not even gonna need to worry about that score, you know? But it might be thin, but if they have the discipline, they can get these cards, but they're not utilizing them past 30%. For sure not. Definitely not. They're keeping the utilization. So back in the day, literally out of my mouth when I was in my 20s, I would tell people, "You only need 1 credit card," not realizing that was bad advice, because if they actually utilize that credit card past 30%, even though they have 1 and it's easy to keep up with, most people don't do that. So they're better off having 3 or 4 with lower utilization on each one, and Lord knows they gotta keep it paid on time. But so all of these things, in order to get to where these clients are that I don't know, I think that has really helped my life, being surrounded by people, wealthy people all my life, like, since my 20s. That is such a blessing when they say, like, you're like the average people that you hang around. And I really never thought about it because I don't have a lot of friends, but I hang around all day long, people with money. And when I look at what they do, they don't spend any time perpetrating, not flexing, nothing. You would never know, and that's what is so amazing to me is that most people.
I'm
Yeah,
glad you went there because that's
yeah,
the next question I was going to ask you, 15 away from the top, yeah, because I've met some wealthy people, very wealthy people,
yeah,
and you would not know that
yes,
they have money, but the way they dress,
yes,
the cars they drive,
yes,
and the conversations, because they never tell me how much money they have. They can buy
yes,
you and change
yes,
with their pocket change. They never talk about it. But
right,
the people, you call them perpetrators, flashing that Harlem Road. What
right.
is that? Can
Yeah.
you explain that phenomenon for us?
Yeah, and it is because you get treated differently. Like you have to have a large amount of self-confidence to live below your means. Like I get on the city bus and a lot of people are bothered by that. Like, why in the world would you be getting on the city bus? But that to me is the ultimate in my personal growth of this is absolutely free until 2025. Why isn't this bus packed? For me, that is a greater statement to be able to say to people, that I don't have to do this. I'm choosing to do this. And that I think that we have been treated so poorly that when we flex, like when you see us with a nice car and some nice clothes and things like that, that we feel like, and it's true, people will treat you better, especially in our community. You get treated totally different when people don't think that you have money. But that's where that discipline comes in. That's where, because the farther you get from other people's opinion of you, and the more you focus on, I got a job to do, and I gotta increase my income, and I gotta grow my assets, and I gotta do these things and do right. Your your work ethic, your integrity, that's where we need to focus. But we got distracted because the people started treating us bad because we didn't look the part. And I know it goes way back historically, I'm sure, to how they used to make us, dress. But we don't have to we don't have to allow that mentality to come with us now. Like the outfit that I have on today is at least 10 years old, at least. And it didn't bother me one bit that I'm coming on Carl Nelson's show. I got on 10-year-old outfit and that I'm gonna go to CBS in a few minutes and sit down and talk with this 10-year-old outfit. So really, what it did was make me happy that I can fit it. Right? And I'm happy, and that I'm saving money. But when I was in my 20s, every time I would do television, especially, I would have to flex. I'd have on the most expensive $1,000 jackets, this and that, blah, blah, blah. So now I can pull on those. My clothes isn't cheap, but I have taken care of quality stuff, and I don't have to prove anything to anybody. But once
And
we
let me
move,
interrupt
yeah,
you there, JB, because you're absolutely right. But we see this a lot
yeah,
when it comes down to cars.
oh yes,
Our folks, we like he's talking about flexing because the
they
car
treat you different.
statement is part of your personality, the extension of your personality. So you've got to get a new car,
Yes,
one that's at least a year or two old. Speak to that for us.
we don't even realize how we treat in our community. We treat each other differently based on the car that they pull up on. You know, you'll have a man that, like my client. I was telling a client the other day, I said that literally, if you were single today, women would not like you because you'd be riding around in your pickup truck. He's married, you know what I'm saying? But we were joking, pickup truck, and they would have no idea all the millions that you have. And he said, "Girl, you ain't said nothing but the truth." I was like, "You should be thankful that you're married." You know what I'm saying? Because you ain't getting no play, none. You wouldn't. And the man got everything. He could change people's life. But it's like that. But if realize that once you get your confidence on, he does not care. He does not care what anybody else thinks. He's like, I want this, my old truck, because I want to use that for when I'm doing da 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 da. And it used to have, I bought a used one and couldn't stand it, had to get rid of it. That's where, because it was just too much, like drawing too much attention. And I know I can appreciate that. Because when I used to drive expensive cars, it draws a lot of attention to yourself. And the number of people that have been hurt, personally, because of material items goes back to biblical times. So in a way, like our humility benefits us in so many ways, but that desire to think that, a car, like, is something that shows our credibility. It is a diminishing asset. The only time probably in the history of vehicles that cars went up was during the pandemic because we couldn't get them in. But other than that, it is going down. And because our community has so much of their income tied up in depreciating assets, that's why even though our incomes are higher, our wealth is diminishing because it's what we're spending our money on. You take that, get a modest car, a modest house, you invest the rest. That person is doing very well, and their wealth is, paying income for
You know
them.
what? You need to hold that. I repeat that for the folks in the back of the room. So I think some of them
Yes.
missed that what you just said.
Yeah.
So many times people ask, "What kind of car you drive? What kind of car?" You look at them, want to know that. So can you repeat that for us?
Yes, if you reduce how much you're paying on your mortgage and how much you're paying on your car, and you invest that in whatever you believe in the investment market, we invest that. If we look at it historically, the investment market has actually outpaced your overpriced residential real estate. So if you were saving more in the market, you would be richer. Like, we'll sit there and pay that house for 30 years and be excited because it's paid off. But if you've been overpaying and been house poor and not maximizing, say, your 401k or TSP because of that house payment, it has cost you wealth. It has cost you.
Well, let me just ask you this, though. Look up on the break, though. Where does this come from where we're trying to keep up with the Joneses? They'll look at you and say, "Hey, you need a new car because that's dated. Even though the car might be running well, you need to move out of that neighborhood because it's a ghetto, even though it costs you less to live there."
Right.
Where does that come from? Just in our community, do you know, or is it just all over?
It's all over. And we have bought into that materialism attitude. It's hurting every community. You see, white stories of greed in white communities, black stories in the black community of greed. That's what causes divorces, families breaking up. All that just over greed and financial issues, probably the number one reason people break up over that. Not if they were living below their means or basing their mortgage just on one income, most of these marriages probably could work. No, but they're under so much stress and the need to escape, and then the the drugs and the alcohol and not wanting to go home because there's so much stress there, and one person in touch with reality and one person just trying to look good. It breaks up everything in every, community. It just costs us even more because we don't have deep pockets. They can call their parents generally and say, "Look, we're about to lose our house. Can you help us get back on track?" The I used to know this white couple well. They had lost everything, but they still had their kids in a great school system because they moved to her parents' house. Her parents had money. They were living in the house with her parents. There's a 50-year-olds with 3 kids living in their parents' house. Everybody thought that was their house. I did, and their parents with them, but they were with their parents because they had overspent and they weren't making any money, and the husband lost the job. So it's in every community, but we don't have that fallback. We don't have that. Like, we're supposed to be the ones.
Interesting story right there, JB. We're going to take a quick break. I'll let you finish it when we get back. Family, you want to join this conversation? You're thinking about saving money to start off the new year? Reach out to JB Bryan at 800-450-7876. Our message is broadcasting on social medias. She also says she can be on CBS later today. We're going to tell you when and where you can watch. We're going to take a break. So I'm at 6 away from the top. I'll be back in 4 minutes with JB right here in Baltimore at 1010 WLB. CMP on FM 95.9 and AM 1450. WOL, for information is power.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Yes, indeed. I'm JB Bryan, the creator of AfroEconomics, a strategic financial empowerment program based on 10 timeless financial principles like generational wealth and legacy, financial knowledge, credit confidence, entrepreneurship, self-reliance, and more. AfroEconomics gives you the guidance and tools you can use to develop and sustain wealth. Check out AfroEconomics on your favorite social media platforms. You will find us everywhere. Plus, enjoy my weekly Afroeconomics podcast. There are many levels of Afroeconomics membership, including the free online access membership level called No Excuses. So make no excuses and check out afroeconomics.com today. Powered by JB Bryan Financial Group, Incorporated, a registered investment advisory firm. Hashtag Afroeconomics.
Pennsylvania Avenue, incident free, and
It really does.
Southbound
I
BW
promise we're
Parkway,
gonna
not
record
too bad
another one,
from
Carl.
north, a little congestion
Carl,
at
this
the
year
north,
we're gonna
and
record
then better
it.
in the northeast. Northbound, some slowing between 197 and 198. Sunny skies today, high of 47 expected, increasing clouds tonight, low 35. 39 now at Reagan National. Injured in an accident? Call Attorney Big Al for a free consultation and get the compensation you deserve. Call 1-800-HURT-123 or go to BigAlBaltimore.com. Attorney Big Al is the law office of Richard Klein. I'm Robert Workman, produced on 1450 AM WOL. Information is power.
Hello, I'm Jose Hernandez, and I have been using a wheelchair since my accident in 1995.
My name is Andrea Delzell, and I've been using a wheelchair since I was 5 years old.
I guess if I had one message for the general public, it would be that I appreciate your help, but please ask first.
Yeah, a lot of people don't realize that I've actually got everything under control.
I think people get nervous because they don't know how to act, so they pretend I'm not there.
What probably bothers me the most is when waiters talk to my companion and not directly to me.
I think everyone
I know, right? That's right.
We know you're just looking at the table for a second.
Oh, Mr. Johnson. That's right.
We're just looking for the same consideration as everyone else.
The United Spinal
Can't ever
Association
get
is
it all.
dedicated to enhancing the
God
quality
keeps
of life
just
of people living with spinal cord injuries and disorders.
pouring it.
Download our disability etiquette book at unitedspinal.org.
Wish I could. Can't
Standing
give it
at
up.
the edge of a
I'm gonna keep trying
you
though.
breathe in cool, salty air.
watching the sun disappear on
Good
the
morning,
horizon.
Miss Richardson.
Across the
What
globe,
can we do?
someone
We gotta
begins their
call
day
that
along
number.
sandy
Call that number.
for crashing land.
Been a long time
Envision a world beneath the
since you
water.
called me.
Vibrant life, unimaginable
Real talk, man. That's right.
place of wonder and
Have.
lifeless wasteland.
I have. You and
Food,
Chelsea need to
jobs,
talk
all gifts from the ocean.
1-844 JB Bryan. Chelsea.
To protect the
Chelsea
ocean.
probably waiting for you to set up that membership.
Everything the oceans provide can and will disappear.
Will do.
It's our choice.
Okay.
Love it or lose it.
Try to remember.
Help protect our
Tell
ocean.
Chelsea.
Visit World
Miss
Wildlife
Richardson
Fund
said she
at
wants a membership right now.
www.org/love. When kids need medical care,
Also at the free membership
stressful
too.
and life-changing experiences, from complex treatments to long hospital stays,
I'll make
special
sure.
patients miss out on the
Yeah.
things that most kids take for granted and
Make
let
sure
kids
check
be
out
kids. That's where Starlight Children's Foundation comes in.
the
Since
webmaster.
1992,
Right.
Starlight Children's Foundation has transformed
You
the
put up
way
little kid
helping
webmaster.
17 seriously ill kids and 800 children's
Put
hospitals
up
and
the
facilities across the United
like
States.
cooking.
Our state-of-the-art programs like
It'll-
Starlight Virtual
I know.
Reality, Starlight Hospital
I
Wear,
know.
and
Girl,
Starlight
you know my way. Channel 6. Don't rely on my brain
whether
to remember. Should we do?
instead of
I know you're
hospital this year,
804-345-6239.
if it brings a break from there to
What is really your number? You're like, what in the world?
That's starlight.org. If you came across a child, how would you register clothes, their
Well,
age,
that handsome man, call him Miss Richardson.
would you register
They were like, I saw you.
not because he's a boy, not because he's
Can
hungry,
I
cried all night, not because he went to bed without enough.
Yes. I know your number by heart too, Queen Howard. 489
Not for fun.
373 527. Miss Tompkins, I know your number.
I was 1 in 7 Americans who struggle with hunger.
I'm not gonna put yours out.
Every day.
And I know yours by heart too. 301 788 1995.
W240 DJ Washington 95.9 WMMJ HD3 Bethesda WKYS HD3 Washington WPRS HD3 Waldorf and worldwide at WOLDCnews.com. Views and opinions of the following show do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of News Talk 1450 WOL, Radio 1 Incorporated, or their management.
My lipstick probably 2 years old too.
The Carl Nelson Show.
All right, let's go.
Good morning again, family. A minute after the top of the hour, our guest financial expert, JB Bryan from AfroEconomics, and we're starting off the new year trying to get some money straight. The lady you need to talk to, reach out to us at 800-450-7877. Broadcasting live and across all the social media, so you can just Google it. I see a bunch of folks already logged on, and they're discussing issues as well. This wants to consider, getting your financial house in order. A good excuse to start at the start of the year. Before we're speaking about people, real people with money. What's the start money, JB? Is people who have accomplished, people who are good at what they do. They don't have to tell that they're good. You know what I'm saying? Because they already know. They don't need that reinforcement. Just like the people with money don't have to tell they have money. They just go along with other businesses. If you don't know, that's your problem. They don't listen to what other people are saying. That crosses the line to any other thing as well. Any other business that you're in, or anything that you're doing. If you're doing it well, you don't have to tell people I'm doing well, because they see the results. But ask you a question though about income inequality. Is income inequality killing us? What can we expect financially? As a group of people, what can we expect? Which is just going to be same old for 2024.
Very powerful question. And I definitely believe that income inequality, our lack of income, the administration's negligence in making sure that people are getting an affordable wage, that is killing our community, according to the research that says that there is a direct relationship between income and chronic diseases. So, I mean, more than anything else, even within our own community, that when income is used to determine health correlations, that a person with higher income and Black, that they're going to have a lower percentage of people in that income bracket that have chronic diseases that are, like, stalking our community. They see it. The, you know, the resources that could be made available to lower income and as well as creating a mandatory requirement on allowing people to make at least a livable wage all over the country. So, definitely income inequality across races has shown that income is killing people. That lack of income is killing people. Lack of income is cutting off lives by at least, and based on pre-pandemic numbers, cutting off lives by at least 6 years. I bet now if they do that now, it's gonna show even more. And I bet that income was the issue for the people dying from, COVID more than actual the race factor. That because more people in our community are subjected to income inequality and lost jobs, and their income was cut during the pandemic, that is why you saw such a huge number of Black people die from COVID. And so, yes, indeed, um, all of our representatives and politicians have access to all of the academic research that has been done, like Urban Institute and Virginia Commonwealth University have done a study, on that income impacts the longevity, it impacts chronic diseases, it impacts children drastically in their ability, because the earlier in your life where you're malnourished and not getting the exposure and the nutrients and the positive experience and the traumatic experiences that are associated with lower income, the moves and the addictions and things like that is hurting our young people over their entire life. Income inequality.
It's interesting what you would say that because I remember doing an interview with Bill Cosby, and it was live, and the DJ was on. They said, "What's really?" And they said, "Make sure he doesn't ask the question because he's kind of on the crazy side." He grabbed the mic and he says to Bill Cosby, "Bill, I got to ask you this question, man. I got to ask this question." And I'm going, "Oh wow, what's he going to ask?" He said, "What's it like to be rich?"
Yeah.
And Cosby told him, "What's it like? It doesn't feel any difference. So the only difference is that I can pay for the best medical care in the world." And he mentioned his mom had diabetes. I could find the best doctors in the world to take care. Other than that, there's no difference. Unless my friend kind of flabbergasted because he thought being rich. When you think about rich people and what they do and what they have, but under Cos, the only difference was he could afford the best medical care. He said everything else is wealthy. The car that you have got the same components in the car that I drive. The food that you eat is the same kind of food. They charge me more. They think I've got more money. He said everything else is relative. And I thought about that. I said, wow, that is so true. The only difference, as you mentioned about health, that interview came back to me. But I'll
yes, thank you so much for sharing that, because what he was saying is that Bill was saying that I have cash flow, I have income, because that fact that wealth itself, Like, wealth is your assets minus your liabilities. So wealth is not what is left over. Your net worth is your wealth. That wealth, unless it's creating income for you, is not helping you protect yourself. So you can actually be wealthy and not create enough income from that wealth. And it actually is not giving you the income that you need. Like some people have assets and they'll put down whatever number they want that this asset is worth this. So then when they do the statistics, they say, "Oh, I have all this wealth." But then when they ask them about their income, well, those assets aren't paying out income and they're not getting enough income from those assets in order to take care of their mother and their father and their children and their wife and themselves and properly. But they might be living smack dab in a $10 million house. But that $10 million house, unless they turn it into an apartment building and get some income from it, it's not doing anything for them.
Let me
Yeah.
jump in here, JB, eight after the top.
Mhm.
I'm talking about the folks on the other end of the spectrum. Minimum wage.
Mm.
A lot of places, minimum wage went up this year, and some folks, some corporations think that you should not increase the minimum wage. Because once you increase the minimum wage, is going to lay off some people. And that did happen this year. I want to get your thoughts. How do we, what is considered a minimum wage? And these companies who threaten, who are against it, say if we increase the minimum wage, it's only one pie, so we've got to cut the pie differently. So if you increase the minimum wage, I got to pay you more. I'm going to have to lay off your colleagues.
Yeah,
How do you deal with that?
it's such a lie. It's just a lie. And we have to stop falling for that. And I can't believe that people that are getting salaries and stuff allow them to do that when you have them on top making billions of dollars a year. You know, so especially, if you're the owner, they just don't have a commitment to making sure that the people who aren't getting access to shares of ownership of the company are getting proper pay. They are the ones that create the $1 billion that they take home in income every year. And it is a lie that our government is allowing them, to get away with that. I've owned a business for what, like 30 years. I have to pay regardless of if I get paid. And that's the kind of sacrifices I feel that owners should be making because it's not their business. That is not their business. So they're better off if they're not paying the person a livable wage, the person is better off going to get another job and make them pay them unemployment. Lay them off. Get unemployment, make them pay more unemployment insurance. Do it. They're laying off people regardless because computers are replacing people. Has nothing to do with wages. These companies want to be profitable, so that their stock will make more money. Just for they are the owners. They're gonna make sure shareholders want them to do that. Which how many people can you replace with the machine? Replace them. And even in my firm, I have over the last 30 years, been able to machines have been in processes and software and artificial intelligence has been able to cut out at least 5 people that I've had to pay. At least 5. At least 5. So with
So
the
let me ask you this: as a business owner, what do you do then? Do you embrace the new technology and then make these jobs redundant?
yes.
And then the people, because the
Yes.
human
I pay
element of
my
this is
yes.
really laid off. And
Yes.
let me just add this
Yes.
because one of our listeners out in California just sent me a text. There was a pizza company out there who laid off the drivers. Because at the start of the year, they were forced to increase the minimum wage for their employees. So they took it out on the drivers. So now you have to come and pick up your pizza. So this is really,
No, they took it
really,
out on the
what's really
customer.
happening to people. Yeah, so
The
it's
driver can go somewhere
element
else.
for it.
The driver can go somewhere else. They didn't need to work there anyway. So that's a lie. They need if somebody comes to work there, the people are gonna go and pick up their pizza, when they don't have to, because you could just use like Uber, go and pick up your pizza and bring it to your house. You know, if you want to do that, just like any other delivery. And the person shouldn't be working for them anyway. They should be doing Uber so that they'll get a 1099, and that opens up for a whole bunch of additional tax write-offs for that driver. Generally, they weren't even getting any benefits from that company. So now if they do get benefits for themselves as a 1099 person from Uber or Lyft or whatever companies that they decide to help, they'll get the expenses that they can write off. W-2 for a person on minimum wage or livable wage, they still gotta pay it back. They gotta pay all these taxes, and then a lot of times they're driving their own car. That delivery person, they're most likely, if you look into it, they're misleading you. They're trying to blame it so that we will feel, I don't care. You have to lay off somebody so that they can go get a better job. You have to pay them unemployment also, and they'll go and get something else. But they will not. It is basically slave labor to make somebody work 40 hours a week, and they still are not making enough, for a livable wage. That is ridiculous. Nobody should be there. And honestly, if you push up from the bottom, that's going to make it better for everybody. You have these,
Well,
everybody.
and JP, you're going against the trickle down theory, economic theory. I think the Ronald Reagan style and the Republicans have embraced. They take care of the people at the top of the pyramid and the people at the bottom. They don't care because they need the people on the bottom to make themselves rich. We'll talk about a break, and let's take this around when we get back to the family. You want to join this conversation with JB Bryan? Reach out to us at 800-450-7876. We're back in 4 minutes, 14 after the top of the hour, right here in Baltimore on 1010 WOLB. If you're in the DMV, we're on FM 95.9 and AM 1450. WOL, information is power.
I'm JB Bryan, the creator of AfroEconomics, a strategic financial empowerment program based on 10 timeless financial principles: generational wealth and financial knowledge, entrepreneurship, self-reliance, and more. AfroEconomics gives you the guidance and tools you can use to develop and sustain wealth. Check out AfroEconomics on your favorite social media platforms. You will find us everywhere. Plus, enjoy my weekly AfroEconomics podcast. There are many levels of AfroEconomics membership, including the free online access membership level called No Excuses. So make no excuses and check out afroeconomics.com today. Powered by JB Bryan Financial Group, Incorporated, a registered investment advisory firm. Hashtag AfroEconomics.
Use of the One VIP card is subject to terms and conditions.
Start the new year off with a bang on TV One with an all-new episode of Fatal Attraction at 9.
She believed that if I can't have her, then no one's going to have her.
Followed by For My Man at 10.
She was frozen in fear. He looked at her and said, "You're going to help me get rid of the body."
With stories of twisted love.
It's the ultimate betrayal.
And twisted endings.
You commit a crime, you got to do this.
Don't miss the back-to-back episodes of Fatal Attraction. Followed by For My Man, all new tonight starting at 9 on TV One. Come join William Jones, founder of the Afrofuturism Network, on his new show, Into the Afroverse. He will be talking about all things Afrofuturistic. He'll be talking sci-fi, fantasy, gaming, and of course, taking place in the past, present, and the future. Guests will include artists, writers, creators, singers, and futurists. It will be fun, entertaining, enlightening, and educational. So tune in and buckle up as we journey into the Afroverse. Tuesday, 10 to 10:30 a.m. on WOL, where information is power. This Thursday, experience the movie critics who call it epic. The Clarence is a wild ride of pure cinematic fun. It's new and fresh. The feast with the eyes, ears, and minds. June 6th, and more. 13, inappropriate for children under 13. In theaters Thursday. Jim Gaffigan here with more Straight Talk. Let's take a moment to appreciate our sweet children, loving grandparents, and eternal soulmates. Now let's use them to save money on wireless. Because with the Straight Talk Silver Plan, you get 4 lines for just $25 a month with unlimited data and no
just human on, I mean, ones and save them. Thanks, guys, for work. Great Talk Wireless, available at Walmart.
Four lines on Silver Unlimited for $25 per line per month, plus taxes and fees. For data management practices and additional terms, visit straighttalk.com.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency on earth. And if you owe back taxes, the news isn't good. The IRS is raising the interest rate it charges on unpaid taxes, and further rate hikes are expected. Most people don't know it, but the IRS has interest charges on your taxes. So if you owe the IRS today, you will owe even more tomorrow. And it doesn't stop until you get right with the IRS. The good news is, getting right can start with one phone call to Optima Tax Relief, America's #1 tax relief firm. Optima's tax professionals specialize in the Fresh Start Initiative, a powerful IRS program that can save you thousands if you qualify. In fact, experts at Optima Tax have resolved over $1 billion in tax debt for their clients. Call now for a free consultation.
Call 800-811-7033. 800-811-7033. 800-811-7033.
Optima Tax Relief.
Details, visit optimaltaxrelief.com.
Every year, Steve Fairchild climbs the stairs at the John Hancock Center in Chicago, 94 floors to the top.
It's called the hustle up the Hancock.
It's hard to believe when you watch Steve today that a few years ago, his lungs were failing and he was fighting to survive.
For 8 hours a day, someone was pounding on my chest to try and keep my lungs clear. I honestly don't think I had more than a couple weeks to live.
From Steve received the gift of life, a double lung transplant made possible by an organ donor.
After I got my new lungs, I started doing things that I had never been able to. I never knew that breathing could feel this good.
Steve climbs to honor his donor and to raise awareness for organ, eye, and tissue donation.
Wouldn't you like that when you left this beautiful planet, that you could save a few lives on your way out? It's an incredible gift.
Imagine what you could make possible by leaving behind the gift of life. Learn more and sign up as an organ, eye, and tissue donor. Go to organdonor.gov. A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Health Resources and Services Administration.
Suck it up. Not a big deal. Just get over it.
We've all heard it. But if you're experiencing extreme stress, it's not just in your head. It can affect your entire body because toxic stress can hurt us physically. If you've lost a job, worry about your meal, or have trouble making it through the day, if you're feeling the effects of stress, we can help. Text her to 211-211 to find a solution.
Now back to the Carl Nelson Show.
Good morning again, family. 20 minutes after the top of the hour, my guest financial advisor, JB Bryan. He's a financial advisor. He runs AfroEconomics, and this is what he talked about. At the start of the year, some folks have had New Year's resolutions to save more money or improve their credit or whatever. But JB, I want to talk to you about the folks who are at the bottom of that financial pyramid, who live paycheck to paycheck, just one calamity away from being homeless. Those kind of folks. How can we help them? What advice do you have to a person who just they're trapped in that cycle? Go to work and paying on bills and going to work, paying bills, can't afford. I don't know money left over to save for anything. What sort of advice do you have for those people?
Join AfroEconomics. I have a free membership. And I told my webmaster, put on a website when they first come in, click here for free membership. Every Friday that I'm healthy, I do a big group, for just anybody. It could be, asset based or free. Nobody knows what anybody is paying. It's a members meeting. And like Mr. Johnson chatted while we were talking, he said, stop giving away all those member secrets. But that's what we talk about. And I always do complimentary consultations, but the deciding factor is knowledge. So what people do with money is they get access to knowledge. So I created AfroEconomics to give all of our people access to knowledge.
and information and, and talking to other people, because a lot of times when people are going through things, they think they're the only one that's gone through things. And so they need to have exposure to, oh gosh, they went through this too. JP went through that too. Oh my, they see where I am now, but they don't know the changes that I had to go through to get here. And so, that I think that we need to reach out to the resources other than government resources on um, taking yourself to the next level, because I've reached out to the government and try to bring this knowledge and, and showing people how to set up businesses and start their own business. And I mean, it's some really powerful things. Now we got to get the knowledge, and it's free. So we got to get I think that anybody out there that's listening that feels like they're going through something unique to reach out to me, and at minimum sign up. If you don't have the confidence of calling and getting my assistant to put you on my calendar for a complimentary consultation, then just get the membership and start coming to the meetings, because it's killing us. It literally is. Like when I just sit here and look at the statistics about poor children and see the children, that's the hardest hit, because like, poor children are more likely to be obese. And people will say, "Well, how is that kid so big if they are not getting enough food?" They're getting enough food, but they're not getting enough nutrition, and they're not getting enough, relaxation and confidence and comfort. And our poor children, and many children, too many children, are exposed to too much of the stress that the parents are going through. And so, a poor child is going to be exposed to a lot of stress. And they're like me, cortisol, which is the stress hormone, will cause that weight gain. And so we're looking at our children like, Lord, what are they feeding them? I mean, we're talking about Black person, talking about Black kids, Black babies. And they're not. It's just that child is exposed to stresses and a lack of knowledge about nutrition, and they're not. Your body can be so malnourished that it will begin to bloat and look fat and gain weight from the lack of nutrients that it's getting, which opens them up to, elevated chances of, like poor kids are more likely to get asthma, even heart conditions, hearing problems, digestive disorders, elevated blood lead, because of the, places that they're living in is not up to standard, not up to code. Like, that that part, like, really hurts me, because we got so when they say, "Well, we gotta increase them, or we're gonna be put out of business, if we pay them more." Like, well, have you ever considered lowering your extremely high income? Because I'm telling you, if I paid my people less, I could make more. Like, so, but because of the commitment to, "This is my dream, and I should sacrifice for it," that's the attitude that we should be having about all of these businesses. That's their dream. That person could die, their family's not gonna inherit that business. They're working to help build that business. They need to be paid correctly, or let them go so they can do something else.
Yeah. JB, 26 after the top. Yeah, our brother Najee is joining us from Jersey. He has a question for you. He's on line too. Good morning, brother Najee.
Hey, how you doing, Carl? Good morning. Good morning to the guests. I got a question. Yeah, so, how much is the rising rent and income inequality? You know what I mean? How connected is that? And also, in the midst that some people don't work hard, because I mean, some people are hardest working people.
That's right.
Don't work.
That's right.
So, is there also a link when you talk about health?
That's right.
People are literally working themselves
to death.
And also, during the pandemic, and you talked about the power of, basically like, okay, if you're not going to pay me enough, look for another job. To get you an example of that, I noticed that these companies pandemic, with the people staying home, they collect unemployment and getting benefits, extra benefits. People wasn't going back to work as fast, which forced employers.
You go.
So they do have the
There you go.
the people.
That's
'Cause
right.
I left the job. I left a job. They called me back to work during the pandemic. I went back to work, and they couldn't find drivers. That's what truck for a living. So they were bringing in drivers and paying them more than
There you go.
And
Yep.
once I learned that, I left.
That's right. And they were like 20 years. You've been there 20 years. New people making more than you. You know, unapologetically, they're going to do what they got to do to protect their company, their interests. And it's time for us, like, good for you. Good for you. Because they're like, you better do it. And so many people didn't leave then. We have so many people in our community that were offered jobs in other places that would have brought them still stay at the one they knew was underpaid. We have to, somehow, and I know it's hard, get in touch with our values the way you did. You just said, hey, I know what I'm worth. I know I know that you need me to survive. I got a good record, I got a good driving record. But we don't see it, so we get stuck. And then when they don't appreciate you doing getting the job and we're frustrated, and then we slowly kill ourselves staying at places that we should have left. The disease is horrible. Yeah, like you said, like
I'm
statistically.
jumping here. Najee, thank you for your call. That's interesting. So, JB is saying some people stay on a job too long. And
Yes.
how do you determine how long is long? You know what I'm saying? Because obviously, if they went somewhere else, they're probably making more money. Should that be the deciding factor?
Statistically, people should not stay at a job more than 2 years if they want to keep moving up. That's what the statistics say. We're staying in it 20, 30 years like it's our own business, you know? But we need to be moving up. And the best way to move up is you gotta switch jobs. Now, I can see like, okay, as you do that, you switch. On average, people are switching jobs 7 times in their career. I believe that the average in our community is much lower, especially on a, high professional level. We lock in. So, and then we'll say things like, if I were at such and such a company, I'd be making so much more. Or if I was in corporate America, I'd be making so much more. But they don't understand that why are you settling? Why are you settling? The worst thing that can happen is you can go back, but we don't stay there until they're getting rid of you on their terms, and that's what we do. Where they start just pushing you out because 'cause you're too old, making up stuff against you. "Oh, you left this in the office, and that was that was a breach of blah, blah, blah," just making up stuff. That and you're sitting there suing them, trying to, spending your life savings, trying to stay at a job that you shouldn't be at. I saw these brothers sue one of these major financial service companies because they were brokers, and they stayed at the firm the entire time that they were suing the company. And then it came out to about like $1 million that they had to split across them for discrimination. But my argument is, if they had left that company, they would have made way more than what the settlement was for. And all of that stress, you know what I mean, for no reason in a business, then we were getting paid, they were only getting paid commission anyway. So it's like,
JB, hold on right there. Just more folks on 229 away from the top there. Brother Muhammad is joining us from Washington, D.C. He's on line 3. Salam alaikum, my brother. Happy New Year.
Alaikum salam. Happy New Year to you, sir. I felt compelled to call in and bear witness to what the scene. My godfather started working at McDonald's. That McDonald's on South Dakota Avenue near Fort Knox. He got my mom's best friend pregnant while he was in college, dropped out of college, started working at McDonald's, became vice president, board of directors. He owned more stock in McDonald's than the Cross family because they just kept buying stock the entire time. They probably own more stock as an individual or, in any other individual in the world in McDonald's.
I love it.
But the reason is a couple is a black man, like Robert Peters.
Good.
But what meaning by stock, though? Because some of us, we're working for companies that are on the stock exchange, and we still don't think about buying stock, investing in the company. So what made him think that he should invest in McDonald's?
I can tell you that story. He was at the South Dakota McDonald's, and somebody put out a sloppy tray of burgers. And I don't know if you know anything about McDonald's, is like real strict on quality and like taste. Okay. So somebody put out a pan of sloppy looking burgers, and the manager stepped down the restaurant and said, "We don't put burgers, in front of the customers, in front of everybody." And made them redo the burgers. And then Bobby was like, "Oh, I ain't going nowhere. I'm staying right here."
Amen.
That's what made them tell. They're not playing. So
Brother Muhammad, because we got to take a short break here.
Yeah.
I'll let you finish the question you're calling for JB Bryan. Family, you want to join this conversation, reach out to us at 800-450-7876 phone calls in 4 minutes at 26 away from the top of the air, right here in Baltimore on 1010 WOLB, in PMP on FM 95.9 and AM 1450. WOL, where information is power.
I'm JB Bryan, the creator of AfroEconomics, a strategic financial empowerment program based on 10 timeless financial principles like generational wealth and legacy, financial knowledge, credit confidence, entrepreneurship, self-reliance, and more. AfroEconomics gives you the guidance and tools you can use to develop and sustain wealth. Check out AfroEconomics on your favorite social media platforms. You will find us everywhere. Plus, enjoy my weekly AfroEconomics podcast. There are many levels of AfroEconomics membership, including the free online access membership level called No Excuses. So make no excuses and check out AfroEconomics.com today. Powered by JB Bryan Financial Group, Incorporated, a registered investment advisory firm. Hashtag AfroEconomics.
Everybody moves downstream. Southbound on I-295, so off the Beltway in Oxon Hill to the Naval Research Up, and good up and across the 95 ramp towards the Southeast-Southwest Freeway. Inner loop of the Beltway is going between St. Barnabas Road and 210 on the way to the Woodrow Wilson Bridge. Outer loop delays from New Hampshire Avenue over towards Georgia Avenue. Inner loop is closed from off of I-95 past 1 towards the Greenbelt Metro Station into College Park. Beltsville, Edmondson Road still closed in both directions for accident near Sunnyside Avenue. Sunny today with a high of 47, tonight low 35, 39 now at Reagan National. I'm Robert Workman, producer of 1450 AM WOL. Information is power.
Right back at you.
Uncovered family secrets, hidden identities, lost ancestors. Fasten your seatbelts. The WETA co-production Finding Your Roots is back with new episodes. Join Henry Louis Gates here as he solves the family mysteries of celebrities and viewers like you. On Tuesday, explore the roots. Bert Nelly and Brendan Fraser. Claiming Your Roots airs Tuesdays at 8 p.m. on WETA PBS and WETA Metro, or stream it on the PBS app.
You're all set with your Medicare prescriptions, Mrs. Brown.
This is not just low-cost copays at Walgreens.
I never did that before.
I can actually help you set up 90-day refills if you want.
This is having a partner you can trust. Get low-cost copays, 90-day refills, and delivery in your neighborhood Walgreens. This is being independent together. Walgreens.
Restrictions apply. For details, walgreens.com/pharmacy.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. The IRS just rolled out a new program to help struggling taxpayers more easily resolve their tax problems. It's called the Taxpayer Relief Initiative, and it opens up powerful new options for people looking to get back on the right track with the IRS. And no one knows this program like the professionals at Optima Tax Relief, America's most resolution company. They've resolved over $1 billion in tax debt for their clients and have the expertise and experience to help you. One easy call to Optima can start the process. To put an end to your worries of wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other aggressive IRS actions. Make day the beginning of your fresh start with the IRS. Call the experts at Optima Tax Relief now for your free confidential consultation.
Call 800-279-6822. 800-279-6822. 800-279-6822.
Eating, working, living pain-free. These are a few of the things many of us take for granted. Yet for many United States military veterans, finding and affording oral health care is a challenge. Dental Lifeline Network is looking for dentists who can change this. Will you volunteer to help people like Richard, a veteran who suffered severe PTSD after his service? He was left homeless for a period of time, and his oral and overall health started suffering. Because of congressional limitations, the VA can't provide the dental help he needs. Through our Will You See One Vet program, we focus on helping U.S. military veterans like Richard. Now we are seeking more general dentists and specialists to donate treatment to at least one veteran with special needs. When you volunteer with the ELN program to see one vet, we handle the details so you can focus on the care. If you are a dentist or know a dentist, please share this message and help us make a difference in the life of a veteran in need. Visit willyouseeonevet.org to learn more. That's willyouseeonevet.org.
David said she was going to be up this morning. Too hard.
Now back to the Carl Nelson Show.
Paul, are you open? Are you open? I heard somebody clear their throat. It's not you.
That was from the phone.
Good morning once again, family. 21 minutes away from the top of the hour with JB Bryan from AfroEconomics. She's the financial expert. We're trying to get our financial house in order to start the year off. Before we let the stream of Brother Muhammad, before we go back to JB, broadcasting live across social media. It's going to be on CBS TV later this morning before she talks. They can see it on TV and CBS. This morning, too, Dr. James back in the classroom, he's going to talk about the politics of Cat Williams, reparations, and the Democratic Party. So look at Dr. Claudine Gay from Harvard, how she got bounced out of Harvard. So Nikki Haley, rising in jail, people, and more. And later this week, we'll speak with Morgan State Professor Dr. Ray Winbush, Dr. Clinical Psychology, Jeff Lenses, and the President General of the Universal African People's Organization, Brother Peru. So if you're in Baltimore, the video is locked in tight. Right here on 1010 WLB, DMV, on FM 9 AM 1450 WOL. Let's go back to Brother Muhammad. She was telling us about the godfather, the vice rose into the ranks of McDonald's. I'd like to finish telling us that story.
Yeah, Godfather, Robert Lucas. He didn't get because he passed away in 2015. The highest spiritual place in the world in Tibet. And that, one of his last words were, "I'll get to the top." To the top, he just boom, no hospital stay, no less.
How old was he?
He was about 77, 75.
Yeah, that's still further. Yeah, that's longer than the average black man. You know that
taught me a lot when he passed, because he had Austin Morgan, he had B12 Audi, he had he lived humbly. He didn't even have a maid. He took the trash out. He worked, first class. He didn't have a private plane. $700 million. I'm sure he's worth $1 billion now into the sea. But
did he get married?
I want to make.
Did he ever get married?
He didn't want to make.
Oh no.
Ma'am.
Did he ever get married?
Let me get this. Yes, he was married.
Okay. Muhammad, you know that. He married him.
He married his high school sweetheart. After I got married, started with McDonald's. He got her pregnant. I think I mentioned.
Oh, okay.
And he had a job. Okay. But two things I want to mention. He was worth about 20 billion, 50 billion, right? All the way up to 700 million. Okay. His lifestyle can change. So these ultra rich people, they're just playing a game of stacking numbers on a piece of paper. Okay, they're past like where you told me I haven't paid a car note in 25 years.
Yeah.
Because when you just write a check and boom, Mercedes. Okay, when I went down to this condo in Fort Lauderdale, but it was $1 million. Everybody there was a millionaire. I witness to what you said about Cosby. They didn't talk about Bentley. They didn't talk about Aston. All they talked about.
That's right.
All you heard was people talking about health. You cannot enjoy your Bentley or your lifestyle if you're not healthy. I learned. I'm like, you have, that's really what health is being healthy now. Another thing, I said the first thing about his lifestyle change, meaning they should tax the rich, okay? Because they're just playing a game of numbers anyway. Okay, they should definitely tax the rich more, and we should have to pay for health care or education. And it's funny you said that people don't have stress or poor people have more stress. When they get their family quota, nobody's overweight in their quota. And when you said that, that really made me think. And the last thing I wanted to say, shut up. I won't get off the phone, but I'll get rid of me. That's fine. But the last thing I'll say, go after the business. We should not go after these things that we think represent success because somebody else is driving his Aston Martin right now. Somebody else is driving the V12 Audi. Somebody else is wearing more. As Muslims, the Quran spend out of what we've given to the cause of Islam, right? I never understood that until he passed away. Because it hit me that if you go after these material things, you're going to be reduced down to zero anyway. You might as well leave a school. You might as well leave, an institution. You might as well, build a library or a park or create some kind of institutions for people. You're not going to drive any luxury cars in the hereafter.
That's right.
You're not going to wear any Rolex in the hereafter.
Right.
So after that happened, I said, forget going after the Bentleys. I'm just going to live comfortably and build an institution.
That's right. That's right. Of anything else, an institution of peace. Like you said, that the greatest inheritance that we can give our children is a relationship with God. So they can say, "Oh, my father, was such a peaceful man, and he had this that no matter how far they wander, they can come back to that place where you gave them."
The last thing I'll say is, when you get, and be careful getting super rich, guys. Okay, because when you get that rich, everyone relates to you on money. Your family is on your payroll. Your friends are on your payroll. It's not a happy life as you want. And when he passed the highest spiritual place in the world, it was almost like, see y'all later. I'm tired of y'all. You know what I'm saying? Because everyone
That's right.
about money, and he wasn't a money person.
That's right.
He was a genius.
That's right.
You know
That's
what I'm
right.
saying?
But
And the last thing I'll say about, I have a business. I make pretty good money, and it's true what you said. Like, I have a Toyota Tundra. I have a nice. But I can do what I want. But
right.
What I recently did is I bought a new mouse. Okay, I got all my dental work. I'm 50 years old.
That's right.
By the time I'm 70, I still want to be smiling and have a happy mouth.
That's right.
So I said, let me spend a year and a half getting my mouth together and getting my mouth right.
That's
and
right.
if I didn't have money, I couldn't do that.
Yep.
But it is true. And you get a nice car, but it's still just a car.
Yep. I
You
mean,
can get a nice house.
but check it out. Your gum health, like when we look at it, like a person with money, like you, is able to take care of their gums better than a person who doesn't have money, because a lot of the things that you did were not covered by insurance. And
periodontal disease.
Yeah,
exactly.
that gum disease it's killing people, going into their brain, increasing their chances of Alzheimer's and dementia. It's directly connected.
Yeah.
And they even showed that our community was more likely to have low
oxide. And nitric oxide is one of the cheapest supplements out there. There'll be like 8 compounds that they put into the supplement. But I was just talking to my sister that's in her 60s about the importance of gum health and that if the tooth is bad, extract it. You cannot afford to have decay in your mouth. And we are keeping it in because thinking
We don't have the money.
exactly. And it's cheaper. I mean, insurance will cover an extraction, but we won't get it because we don't know what we're going to put in afterwards. But when you're talking about what you look like versus not getting Alzheimer's because of gums, you got to get it out.
Right.
You got to get it out.
Can I say one last thing? Let me say,
Go ahead, Brad. One other question.
I was studying the Supreme wisdom, right? And I was talking the word grafting, right? We talk, grafting, we talk about like taking a dominant mouse and making it into a recessive mouse, and albino mouse, right? But there's another definition to grafting.
Oh, okay.
There's an economic definition. And the economic definition is this: gaining an unscrupulous, sometimes criminal advantage over another. So the economic, what I say is in the lesson it says, in order to make devil, what must you first do? You must first start grafting from the original. And so it's not to hit me that the supreme wisdom is like an economic guide. And let me just say this real quick. $8 billion a month in the DMV area. 8 billion. If you go all the way up to, include Maryland, up to Pennsylvania and down to Richmond, we spend $8 billion a month as a Black community. Okay, so what if we just got the devil off of our money? You understand? Like, it's not even complicated. All we have to do is get these people off of our money.
That's right.
Because they're grafting our money and living well and stress-free and so on and so forth because they're living off the original.
That's right.
We've been making devils since we got here. We made devils because you cannot be a devil unless you're rich, unless you got money. People who are making bombs in Palestine, they got money. Raytheon got money. Lockheed Martin got money. You understand what I'm saying? If we can get these people off our money, our nation and our people pop up overnight.
Or we can reverse it.
I'm gonna let you go, but it turn away from the topic. I understand our logic of this. Somebody's got to be rich, and somebody's got to be poor. They want to be rich all the time, and they want to keep us poor, and that's what basically what Muhammad was saying. The logic really full would appreciate you for using that metaphor about the bombs. 800-450-7877. Just mentioned folks want to speak with JB Bryan. Sister Fahima's next. She's like 2 calls for also from the district. Good morning, Sister Fahima.
Yes, greetings, Mr. Nelson. Thank you for taking my call. And greetings to your guest, Ms. Bryan. First of all, I want to say I agree 1,000% in terms of what she said earlier about these companies and the exploitation of wages. My call in is I wanted to talk about the gentleman, Mr. Cole, who 7 years in the king, never missed a day's work, and gave him a backpack, a lantern for his IT, and movie tickets and a Starbucks gift card. And fortunately, a family member had a presence of mind to do a GoFundMe for him, and he $300,000 was raised, and he decided to buy a house. But fortunately, he said, go back to work for Burger King. And the thing is, it's just absolutely outrageous how these companies are exploiting people. I just want to say a couple other points. I started out in the financial sector. I was manager of a credit union before I changed careers. And when I came up to the ranks, I observed how people spent their money. I worked for credit unions for city and state employees in New York. And I saw how people get paid on a Thursday and they were drawn on Monday. I learned the bad habits of others. So I ended up getting IRAs to reduce my taxable income, annuities, even stock in everyone over time. And the fact of the matter is, what we got to do today, tomorrow. Now, have a friend who and I, we were college, we went to high school together. And while I was going to graduate school and becoming a professional, girl was doing a full-time job and money. And she did more money than I do. So I said to her the other day, you want to be careful while you are saying you on, and then the people will be squandering your money. So you do what you got today, you wanted it tomorrow. So she decided at 63 to take her first class plane ride. Because the people still, she died today and tomorrow, that all that money that she saved, other people are going to be enjoying the benefits of it and squandering it. So what I know you do, you do what you got to do tomorrow. Now, Mr. Milton, never be able to call in and Dr. Taylor comes on. So I just want to say this. I want to reiterate that Congressman out from New York on it was removed because of her participation in January 6th, and that's why it was her motivation. She moved from Harvard. That was her motivation for going after Dr. Gay. And we have to be mindful of that. And Dr. Gay may have been dropping in her citation. She was and I'll just leave it at that. And I want to thank your guest. I said this last Friday that the zero balance transfers are not as prevalent because it's tied to the economy. And the financial institutions don't have an incentive for doing so. So anyway, I thank you for sharing the information that you did, and I'll continue to listen. You got to do today so you can do what you want to do tomorrow.
No, right there. It's just, I'll let you hold the response. We're going to take a short break and respond to what some of the things that he said. If you want to join this conversation, let's 800-450-3876. Phone calls 4 minutes right here. It's 6 away from the top of the hour. Info on 1010 WOLB. If you're in the DMV, enrollment in FM 95.9 and AM 1450 WOL. Information is power.
I'm JB Bryan, creator of AfroEconomics, strategic financial empowerment program based on 10 timeless financial principles like generational wealth and legacy, financial knowledge, credit confidence, entrepreneurship, self-reliance, and more. AfroEconomics gives you the guidance and tools you can use to develop and sustain wealth. Check out AfroEconomics on your favorite social media platforms. You will find us everywhere. Plus, enjoy my weekly AfroEconomics podcast. There are many levels of AfroEconomics membership, including the free online access membership level called No Excuses. So make no excuses and check out AfroEconomics.com today. Powered by JB Bryan Financial Group, Incorporated, a registered investment advisory firm. Hashtag AfroEconomics.
Lord.
One,
Let's try it again.
There this morning. Outer loop of the
bring it up anyway.
West of I-95 in Silver Spring on the York Avenue, South Dakota Avenue to Bladensburg Road. High of 47, increasing clouds tonight to 35, 39 now. At Reagan National. Lift over. Insurance company take you for a ride. Call Attorney Big Al at 1-800-223. Go to Baltimore.com. Attorney Big Al. Richard Clark. How about working for News Talk 1458?
Small businesses are the heart of America. Like you. These entrepreneurs started out with a dream and a drive to build a better life. If you have a small business idea to grow or challenge to fill, you don't have to go it alone. Since 1964, SCORE has helped entrepreneurs build their businesses. Today, they are the nation's largest nonprofit source of expert mentoring, resources, and education. Whether you're starting out, building back, or working for years, SCORE will match you with specialized mentors. Our thousands of volunteers provide the guidance and connections you need.
That's
is waiting. Score is ready to help. I'm the mentor today as we learn how to
Kids across America, millions of kids every day. Kids get sick more often. They can struggle in school. It can one simple thing can help change all this for a hungry child in America. Good, healthy food and the energy it brings. From caring people across America. So we can build better futures.
We want to ensure that all of our kids have healthy meals every day. Thank you.
Thank you for helping favor kids. To learn more about infant child hunger in America, go to helplowkidshungry.org today. The mission of Paralyzed Veterans of America is accessibility. Veterans who have served and sacrificed the best of themselves deserve access to the best our country has to offer. Access to meaningful employment. Access to the veterans' benefits they've earned. And access to every part of their communities. PVA staff working inside VA hospitals. No other veteran organization has provided more real-time, ongoing support for paralyzed veterans and their families. PVA is proud to serve veterans across all branches, all generations, all conflicts. Our nation's heroes fought for your independence. Join PVA in fighting for theirs at pva.org.
Meals from those years are hard to forget. It was all white bread and old milk, hamburger casseroles, and quiche Lorraine. Oh, what a time to cook. Meat, salads, and desserts.
boy.
The party was classy if it had cheese. We never missed an after dinner smoke. It didn't matter if we were in our dining rooms, a burger joint, or the ritziest of restaurants. There'd be an ashtray on every table.
Thank
And
you
a
so much,
very
Paul.
particular flavor in every meal.
Oh,
Smoked for breakfast, lunch, and it's amazing that our food could taste like anything else. If that was you, then get your lungs screened. Surviving lung cancer starts. Yeah, learn more and screen your lungs. This PSA was made possible by industry funding and guidance from cancer patient groups.
W. Washington, D.C. W240 DJ Washington, 95.9 MMJ HD3, WKIS HD3 Washington, and worldwide at news. Views and opinions of the following do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of news WL, Radio One Incorporated, or their management. Oh.
I'm at the top of the hour with JB Bryan, a financial advisor. She's a finance expert from AfroEconomics. And standing on deck, we've got Dr. James Taylor on California. We'll get to him momentarily. So, JB, I'm going to quickly respond to what Sister Fahima said. Charles in Baltimore has a quick question for you.
So,
all right, let's go to Charleston. Charles, I want to.
Yes, how's everybody doing today?
great. Thank you.
Yes, I'm wondering about money being the catalyst to our enslavement, and the one money being the catalyst for our freedom.
because you were free before the colonists came here and introduced money and British law. So I'm wondering, why do we keep money when we know that that is what enslaved us, and that freedom is not the Emancipation Proclamation, but it's the absence of money and British law?
All right, let's get a chance to respond. Kind of convoluted premise there, but I see you look it up in the sky, so I'm not from JB.
Exactly. I was just like, you know, I mean, I can,
Thanks, Charles.
I think it even deeper when we go back to the original brother that kind of connected to that topic about how we use our resources in general, whatever we use for commerce. Now we're moving into, a digital environment, dollars, but they're done digitally, one place to another. And he was saying that, that so much of our money is used in the wrong way. And we've touched on that, but specifically, I do feel that our community, knowing now what we know, that our income has to be used correctly in order to protect our life, that we should stop spending money on anything that's not benefiting us, even like benefiting us in a most disciplined way. Like, if money is tight, then pray and seek for a more disciplined lifestyle, that maybe if you remove a lot of the entertainment, that things would be better for your family. So I feel that we should be empowered by the discussions that we're having, and that if we start reappropriating, where I was talking about, like, my biggest role models, my most wealthy clients, and them being Black men, that we, regardless of what the media says and how things are presented, when we look at the reality of our community, it's not the way that it's always presented on the media. And some things that we're doing with our money is not benefiting us. So instead of saying like that, I say just take control. Take control of every dollar that you spend. Take control.
And JB, I'm gonna let you go. Before we let you go, though, you mentioned your wealthy clients are men. Sean, what happens to wealthiest sisters? The richest Black women I can think about, aside from Oprah, got the money through Bob Johnson's wife, got the money through marriage. But this is a topic for another day that we can discuss about women and Black women, especially, that are making money. But before I let you go, though, you're gonna be on CBS later today. Can you tell us when and where?
Yeah. Virginia This Morning Show on CBS 6. Go to WTBR.com and you can stream it live, or go to AfroEconomics.com, look at my event calendar, and you can click on, you'll see this discussion also. I'll put you on my calendar, and you'll see that later on this morning, I'll be at CBS 6. So definitely.
All right, what city is that going to be in, JB?
They broadcast out of Richmond, the capital of the capital of Virginia. But the Virginia This Morning Show, you can get it anywhere, but just put that in Google, and you can live stream as well. But at WTBR CBS 6 in Virginia.
All right.
Thank you for this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Had a great discussion this morning. Thank you. All right.
See you.
All righty, folks. Let's turn over our attention to the top of the hour, Dr. James Steele.
I'm JB Bryan, the creator of AfroEconomics, a strategic financial empowerment program based on 10 timeless financial principles like generational wealth and